o'clock. You know what that means. Time to go live. We are live. I'm here in downtown Champaign, Illinois, where I always am, at the office. Got a lot going on. Actually got a guy coming down here this weekend, Sean Reinhardt, out of Lakeview High School, Michigan's coming down to record some videos. He's a split back veer guy. What do you think about that? Split back veer. You option guys, if Coach Quiroga's in the house tonight, he'll be happy to know we got some option football coming. Anyway, my name is Nate Albaugh. I've been coaching high school football here in Illinois for about 20 years. Actually, not about 20 years, 20 years. Been coaching high school football here in Illinois, and currently at a high school called Unity High School in Tolono, Illinois. It's right outside Champaign, which is where the university is. We are live tonight. I got a special guest. Robbie Howard is in the house tonight out of Beardstown, Illinois. Don't know where it is? Well, not many people do. I don't really know where it is, except that it's west. It's like out in the sticks. As soon as you get, and that's the thing, I mean, I'm a downstate guy. Anybody south of Chicago just thinks we're all sticks. But I think when you really get down southern Illinois and really out in western Illinois, I think it really is sticks. That is the sticks, in my opinion. Coach Gardner's in the house. What's up, man? Grilling a tomahawk. I don't know what that means, Coach. I don't know what that means. What up, Coach? It's Coach Steve in the house. Lucas Freeman in the house out of Minnesota. Coach Freeman, I'm heading your way in January, man. I'm visiting Owatonna, of course, and then I'm heading out to Brookings, South Dakota to visit a coach, and now his name is slipping my mind. I have to look at it in my email, but I was looking at the steak and thinking about this guy, a guy that has a really good resume, been speaking for a while, and I'm excited to hear from both of those guys. But anyway, that's in your neck of the woods, Coach Freeman. Coach Gannon in the house. What's up, Coach? Thanks for checking in on us, guys. Tonight we're gonna talk. All right, we're stopping in Slayton on my way to Brookings. Deal? Look me up on Twitter. We'll grab a bite to eat. How about that? Talk some ball. We're talking about turnarounds tonight. Listen, the Illini need to find a guy to turn around, but what the heck does it take to find a guy to turn around? Like, it was, of course, the topic of discussion today at school of all of us guys that work there. And all of us kind of disagreeing on what is it going to take. I was chatting with one of our football coaches. Well, what about this guy? What about this guy? Well, can he recruit? What does that mean, can he recruit? I don't know. Like, do you have to just be cool to recruit? Like, what's the magic sauce of recruiting? I mean, the reality is when you walk in this kind of a shirt, but it's got the Illini block eye, everyone in the school, no matter what school you're at, is excited. These kids, they want to play big time ball. But the question is, how are you going to get those elite kids that have multiple offers? Those are the ones you got to get there. Like, everyone else is excited to see you, but how do you get that super elite kid? Right? I mean, people throwing out all sorts of names, right? Malzahn, Munkin. I don't know who Lewis is. Who's Lewis? Who's the dude out of Coastal Carolina? So listen, like, yeah, I would love a guy that's really good, has like, so it's such and such guy with this offense, such and such guy with this defense. Offensive-minded guy, defensive-minded guy. Listen, the answer at Illinois isn't a magic offense or a magic defense. It's way bigger than that. Chadwell, that's who it is. Chadwell at Coastal Carolina, right? It's bigger than offense or defense. Look at what Indiana has done. Look at what Tom Allen has done. Like, it's not. I don't think they're winning because their offense is magical or their defense nobody can solve it. How do you find the guy? Like, how do you find the ingredients that a guy like Tom Allen has? That doesn't go on a resume, right? How do you find that? Does anybody have any ideas? What do you do? Because when you're the AD, that's what you have to find. The heck with magic offense. You guys all know how much I would love to see. Like, I told somebody I would literally probably cry a tear of joy if the Illini hired somebody who was an option football coach. I would be ecstatic. But turning the Illini around is way bigger than an offense or a defense. How do you find Tom Allen? How do you find him? How do you find that? That ain't on paper. Coach Lewis at Kent State. He's from Oak Lawn. I didn't know that. Coach with Babe. Okay. Coach with Dino Babers at EIU. Coco loved BC staff from Washington State. They were in the lead because of the staffs. Right. Yeah, because of the staff, right? Like they connect with a guy. Or guys. Right? Like, I don't think that these guys are going to a certain place because of an offense. They like the people there. Something about the culture is attractive. Guys, let's talk some ball. We got Robbie Howard in the house tonight. Robbie Howard turned around a program at Beardstown High School. Now, listen, Beardstown was on a 23-game losing streak when he got there. Right? 23-game losing streak when he got there, and he turned it around. So I don't think it's because of a magic offense. How did he do it? Let's shout out our sponsor, Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, Herman. What do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive subconcussive blows that add up during the week while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at Guardian_caps. Let's go get Coach in the house, man. Sorry, I went longer than I wanted to because this topic fires me up. What will it take to turn around the Illini? What will it take to turn around Vanderbilt? I don't know. This is Robbie Howard, fellas. Coach Howard. We can't hear you yet, Coach Howard. You figure it out. You might have to unmute yourself. Looking like...
That any better?
Yes, looking like John Daly in that Titleist hat.
Wish I could hit it as far as he could. Wish I could score as low as he could as well.
Hey,
so.
That's the thing. You might be able to hit it as far one time, but that doesn't help you much. The thing is, the dude could also hit it straight. Guys, this is Robbie Howard. I'm excited to introduce you guys. Robbie's the head coach at Beardstown High School. What was it, 5 years ago you took over?
This is my fifth year. This would be my
fifth year.
2016 was my first year at Beardstown.
They were on a 23-game losing streak when you got there.
Yes.
And you took the job.
Yep, I took the job. I left Williamsville. For those in Central Illinois, I was an assistant coach at Williamsville for 4 years, and had an awesome time there. Had a chance to play for a state title. Had a runner-up, and semifinal, quarterfinal team almost every year, 9-0, 8-1, and Beardstown job opened up, and it actually opened up 2 times that year. The first time opened up, they hired a guy, it didn't work out. Opened up really late in the spring, around March, April, into March towards April. Got hired at the end of April and decided to take a shot, and it's been awesome ever since. It's been a great experience. Obviously, it was a program much different than I was used to growing up with and being around as a coach. But Beardstown's been absolutely fantastic. It's been a great 5 years, not only coaching football but being in the school, teaching. I'm the athletic director now.
Dang.
Coach as well, and it's been awesome.
Man, well, Coach, and again, so he goes from he's an assistant at one of the small school programs in Illinois that's known for winning a lot, and you go to Beardstown and take over at Beardstown, who's on a 23-game losing streak. Coach, so you've turned around a program. Your first year you go 5-5, and that was, you have had nothing but better years since. And a year ago, first undefeated season, and you go 10-1. Now, you had an electric running back. And as I'm watching some of your film, that dude was special, man.
Yeah, he was a heck of a player, Pascal Guillavogi. He's playing at Central Missouri now, one of the premier Division II schools in the country, over in Warrensburg, Missouri.
What's his last name?
Guillavogi.
Guillavogi.
Pascal Guillavogi.
Guillavogi.
Took me a couple of months to get it right too, but yeah, it's
boy, he was special. Well, Coach,
he was special. We had a lot of special kids. Yeah.
I'm talking tonight, and of course, we're going to get to some of the things that you did, but the general theme is turning it around, right? I'm an Illini fan.
Yep. Me as well.
Dude.
Rough week. Missouri lost.
As we're talking about all the names, right? All the names that they could get, I think that whatever they're going to do to turn this around is way bigger than the right offense, the right defense, some magic play. Dude, like, what's your 30-second version of how the Illini turn it around?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, as a longtime Illini fan, it's been a struggling 10, 15 years, especially football wise. We've had some good hoops teams, but yeah, I mean, the big thing, I know you hear all these cliche words, but obviously the big thing is recruiting. I mean, at that level, you have to get the dudes there. I know Lovey had a plan. Lovey always talked about Texas. It seemed like he really lived in the St. Louis area. Illinois guy, we're downstate, but I think you have to win Chicago. If you're gonna win in Illinois, you have to win Chicago.
But
so many of those.
How do you win Chicago, Coach? I coached in the Chicago suburbs.
Okay.
And every one of my kids that come up, man, I like middle schoolers, stud athletes. I'm like, oh, you gonna play for the Illini? They're like, no, Michigan, no, Notre Dame, no, Wisconsin, Iowa. Like, you are in the minority in Chicagoland if you're an Illini fan. That's just you're in the minority.
Right. I mean, obviously, a part of that, and I know that's a different type of student athlete, but Northwestern, what Pat Fitzgerald has done there, has done us no favors as Illinois fans. But not only that, Iowa, like you said, Wisconsin, obviously Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Midwest. Those schools have always been, top of the list, even when Illinois did have good seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're right. Illinois is not the quote unquote cool school right now,
no. Laborer.
Basketball wise, so we got a couple of big time Chicago guys with Io and Miller. So hopefully we can use that momentum in football.
Laborer 88 in house. Coach, welcome. I haven't seen your name before. Anybody that's watching for the first time, please let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to get to know guys. Would love to hear your guys' take. What will it take to turn the Illini around? Or Vanderbilt. Listen, I don't know Vanderbilt football or Nashville football, but listen, they're sitting there in the SEC. They've got, what do they have going for them? How do you go there and win? Listen, and again, how did Tom Allen do it at Indiana? What he's doing there is incredible. Can anybody give us something to grasp onto, like just a couple little bullet points? You don't have to be right. You can't prove that you'd be right anyway. They're all just ideas of some steps to turn it around, like recruiting. In what way? Yeah. Okay, so Ben Johnson says Illini need 1, recruiting, 2, attitude, 3, scheme, and in that order. Coach, so hey, Greg Ferguson here from Little Rock. Thanks for checking in, Coach Ferguson. Coach, bullet points, things they need to turn it around. You got anything tangible for these schools?
I mean, dudes, you got to have the dudes. I know that sounds cliche. You got to have the guys, and I know I said Chicago earlier, but not only that. I mean, there's Central Illinois guys. There's some of the names been thrown around. A lot of Ohio guys. I know there's Ohio as far as the Midwest is probably the top state that's producing on the level of the Texases and the Floridas and the Californias. So I think I know the name I really like, and I don't even know if he has the interest, is Luke Fickell. Cincinnati now had a little stint there at Ohio State in between Tressel and Urban Meyer. But yeah, him and I like the guy from Wisconsin, defense coordinator Leonhold. I think he's a blue collar dude, Midwest type kid, not a kid, but Midwest type guy, young coach looking to break in. That would be a interesting hire as well.
Now, I think Fickell had already turned down the Michigan State job before, so I feel like if you turn that down, why would you go to Illinois? That's how I feel. But what do I know?
Right.
In the chat, they said, here's what keeps coming up: recruiting. And I don't know what is the key to getting elite athletes to come your way, or in the world of football, how many guys are slipping under the cracks? What about those Chanticleers, dude? What about Coastal Carolina? You cannot tell me Coastal Carolina's team is more athletic than the Illini. There is no way. We are at least as good athletically, likely better than Coastal Carolina. So there is more to it than the recruiting, although it's a huge piece of the puzzle. So I feel like, yes, recruiting is a huge piece of the puzzle, but you can't take a step forward in recruiting until you play better football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think whoever we can get a hold of, you got to have some early success, not only recruiting, but have some early success whenever that first season comes and hopefully build from there. But yeah, I mean, you hear that culture word. I know Coach Allen, you talked about him earlier at Indiana, had culture. A big talk at our state association, had their virtual.
Did you listen to that one?
Yes, yeah. He's
I haven't
great.
listened to Allen's yet. I
It's no secret why obviously those dudes love him and why he's doing great things at a traditionally not very good football school.
What he has done is incredible. I'm rooting for Indiana in a big time way, and I don't like Indiana. Coach Steve says, culture, recruiting, yes. Coach Gardner says, put it this way, they wouldn't look at Coco. That's his number one dude. He only had 30 offers, and by programs that are year in, year out better than the Illini. Schematically, Freeman says, I think you have to start defensively. So, Coach, let's go ahead, and we're going to start turning this conversation towards you. For you guys in the chat, if you don't know, we usually go live for about 30 minutes. We're already halfway through it, but we cheat a little and go 3 to 4 minutes over. But after this, you're going to get to see Coach's first video that he did for the online clinic. It'll stay here for 24 hours. After that, it goes over and lives on the online clinic. That's clinic.chiefpigskin.com. We hope you guys will check it out. We've worked hard on it. We're pretty proud of it, man. But that's kind of the format of tonight. I first want to talk about this turnaround. You're the perfect guy to talk turnaround with. Coach, you were first of all, didn't you work with your brother down in Breeze?
Yeah, I was down at Breeze Central, down in Southern Illinois, Coach Short, and my brother was the offensive coordinator. I worked for him as the offensive line coach. And
so there in that program, you're in a spread type offense, correct? They ran
all 10 personnel. We did have some sniffer backs considered, I guess, 20.
You go to Williamsville.
Very, very little.
Williamsville's very 10 personnel. Then you go to Beardstown. You didn't go 10 personnel. Let us know, what was your thought? Okay, I'm going to run blank. Why?
Yeah, obviously that's, when you first get the job as a coach.
Uh-oh, we lost your sound. Can you still hear me? Hold on a second, Coach. Can you guys...
teams. Am I on there? Am I still good?
No, we lost you. Let me know in the chat, guys, if you lost him too. Because I got the first word, and then I heard you say, am I still on?
My bad, you got me now?
Okay, yeah. From the top.
Okay.
Off. You did not choose to go 10 personnel. What was the thought process there?
Yeah, I always had a great respect for the wing T. You know what I mean? I always had a great respect for the wing T. We played a lot of great wing T programs, a lot of great wing T offenses in Central Illinois and everywhere. But I just really thought at Williamsville and even at Breeze, we had 60, 80 kids every year. I knew we were going to have less kids at Beardstown. For our first day there, we had 9 kids, our first summer training.
Oh my gosh.
9 kids, and we went from 80. I went from 80, 60, 80 kids, 90% plus attendance every year, to 9 dudes. And and obviously we built it from there, and more dudes started showing up as we were having fun and stuff and out there selling. But we thought the personnel, I knew, seeing those kids, obviously I had a chance to get on with the technology. They had a chance to get on Huddle and all that. As soon as I got the job, the guy that was the athletic director at the job got me on the Huddle. Obviously spent a lot of time. A program that was struggling like that had a lot of kids who were playing as freshmen and sophomores who I certainly, we certainly benefited from the experiences and kind of the lumps they took as freshmen and sophomores. They came to us and they were sophomores and juniors. But yeah, we knew we had a couple of running back type kids. We met Pascal. We had some good young running backs. Avery Quigley. We had some really good kids there. Drake Robleski, Brady O'Hara, Chad Grimm, more fullback, wing T types. But that first year, I'd always been in the shotgun, so we went shotgun wing T. And back then it was Rick Stewart, and Rick Stewart still does a lot of the shotgun wing T stuff.
Okay, that was going to be my next question. Who was your resource? And you went to Rick Stewart.
Yeah, I watched that. I still have that binder. Actually, still have the binder. That got sent to me. I purchased that first year and watched all those videos 10 times through. But yeah, we wanted to run the shotgun wing T, and we ran the shotgun wing T. Throughout that year, we started developing more. What we really were missing. We were missing the quick hitters and kind of a lot of the things that I really liked about the wing T. The trap hit slow and fullback ISO hit slow. And the fullback ISO, when I say that, I mean belly for some of you more traditional nomenclature. But it just was slow. So throughout that year, we went more under center. And then we had Pascal, who was a freshman that year, and the video series we were honored to do on Chief Pigskin. We talk a lot about our Wildcat system, and we knew we had to find ways to get him the ball. So we put him lined him up at quarterback, called it our Wildcat, went spread. Kids were fun, you know what I mean? You had to, just like let me talk about earlier, you have to sell culture, get kids out. So going out there, and just because we did it from the shotgun, sometimes kids think that's, you know, the more modern, more unique kind of a seller to get kids out. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna have some inventive formations. We're gonna you know, they're not really trick plays. We're just running the same schemes up front, but it looks cooler. We're gonna line kids up in different spots and then have some fun. So yeah.
Well, when you look at what you did, and again, when you look at what you were able to do at Beardstown, and to me, Robbie, you are the epitome of what Chief Pigskin honestly has been built around. Like, we haven't gone out and just sought out guys that have won 75 straight state championships, you know? Like, I love finding the guys that have gone to some town that most people haven't heard of, right? Outside of Central Illinois, how many guys have heard of Beardstown? Not many, right? I love going to these places guys haven't heard of, where there's a school and a community and somebody turns it around and is playing good football. And when they're playing good football, it's usually for a variety of reasons. It's never just the offense. It's never just one thing. If you could sum it up like into 3 to 5 bullet points, in your opinion, like, you know, I want to let you be humble about it, you know, like, well, in my opinion, some of the bullet points of how we were able to turn it around are.
Yeah, first off, you know, it doesn't sound cliche, but it's 100% accurate. Very talented kids and great assistant coaches. We have a small staff. There's only 4 of us, but it's a great staff. Those guys are unbelievable. Those guys have been committed. Those guys have been the glue that held this whole thing together, and obviously really talented kids. But besides that, I really think consistency. If there was one word, if we're going to talk C word besides culture, just consistency from myself and the other coaching staff.
I like that.
Consistency of staying. I mean, that first summer and in all summers in a community like ours, we're very transient. So we have kids that are moved in. We have kids that aren't always available in the summers, whether they're back in their country of origin or they're working. You know, a lot of these families are not able to not have their sons work, but yeah, just being consistent. The kids know that us 4 coaches are going to be there. They know that we're going to have a game plan. They know the expectations. But yeah, consistency and then care. You know, the first, just showing the kids that you care. Going to basketball games, going to wrestling matches. You know, they all just. I'm the athletic director now, so obviously I still go to them. But even when I wasn't, I took scorebook for the basketball team all the time. I went to track meets. I coached softball. I worked the weight room. We worked with all the athletes and. Yeah, just being a presence in the school and showing kids that you care is the biggest part of the whole deal. You know, we had 6 words. We started out, and if kind of to finish here, the third bullet point, 6 words we've always gone up by is show up, be positive, give effort.
Love it, Coach.
Do those 3 things, no matter what it is, football, school, whatever. You do those 3 things, you got a pretty good chance at doing some good things.
Show up, be positive, give effort.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. I like that a lot, Coach. Well, Coach, and you're right, man. That consistency is a huge piece. Coach Herman Young in the house. Welcome, Coach. Love having you back. He's out of Cleveland High School down there in New Mexico. If anybody's just getting here, we got Robbie Howard in the chat. Robbie went to Beardstown High School where they were on a 23-game losing streak and turned them around almost overnight, and from 5-5 in year number 1, now 4 years later they go undefeated regular season, go 10-1, and you know, this is the perfect timing with everybody wants to fire their coach. Everyone wants to fire their coach, and to me, I don't. You know, for example, I'm an Illinois fan. Yes, I would love to see us win 100 games a year. I don't have anything for Lovey, but I don't have anything against him. But when I'm not necessarily on the train of he didn't win enough, get rid of him. I just don't. How can you guarantee? Because I believe in consistency so much. How can you guarantee that the next guy will have the it factor? I just don't know if you can. Well, Coach, I'm going to change gears here a little bit.
Okay.
Somebody on Twitter was talking about, you know, a lot of people have said, hey, they need to run some option. They've got lesser talent. You need to run something different. You can't do what everybody else is doing, expect the same results. And somebody on Twitter had said, yeah, like, I mean, What about air raid? That's different too. And it is different, but it's not quite the same because the benefit of starting, when you're going to try to turn around a program, the benefit of starting run heavy is that the game shortens. And when you know that you're outmanned, you take that game and you want it as short as possible. Like, for example, why is it in basketball games an underdog can upset there's a lot of reasons, but one is the game is so short. It's over like that, whereas the college football game is so long, right? So one advantage of running the ball is that game becomes shorter. Coach, for you coming in, you had started off like, hey, we're probably less talented in year number one, whereas you go to like a year like last year going, maybe we're not the less talented team. Did your philosophy or approach change when you went from less talented to more talented?
Yeah, I would say definitely, no doubt about it. Pace of play, like you're talking about, that tempo there. We wanted to, our first year, I wouldn't say we necessarily ran the play clock down every time, but we didn't go nearly as fast as we did this last year. You know, we had two kids that were home run threats, Pascal and Avery Quigley, little scat back, fullback, playing running back in McKendree for us. So we knew those kids had, anytime they touched the football, they had a chance to house it. So the more times they touched the ball, the more opportunities they got. You know, we thought we had a better chance. Obviously, the challenge with that being only 30 or so kids in a program is all those kids, all the best offensive kids, they're playing defense too. You know, we would love to be one way. You know, there's certainly a million advantages to being one way, but it just wasn't in the cards with 30 guys. You know, it wasn't in the cards with 30 guys. So yeah, definitely finding that balance of you know, wanting to be explosive, wanting to be up tempo, you know, wristbands, code words, all that type of stuff, and managing the game and not gassing your kids in the second quarter, you know, or whatever is definitely a compromise. But yeah, that's kind of interesting to talk about triple option at Illinois. I don't know how tough a sell that would be. I bet Isaiah Williams probably be a hell of a triple option quarterback, though.
Hey, let's go. I would cry tears of joy. Almost everyone else I know would not be happy, and they think I'm crazy for it, but I would be tickled. Okay.
Yo, Paul Johnson, call it Paul Johnson.
Oh, man, let's go. Get him here. We've got about 5 minutes left. So we're going to kind of transition to our closing statements here, but never fear. We got Coach and his staff back on tomorrow night. I'm going to ask those guys a little bit their opinion on the turnaround, how you guys got it done. And then also we're going to talk a couple little Wing T specifics tomorrow night for anybody in the chat that has some fun with that. Come pick on us under center guys if you want. But hey, again, Coach is over here. He's known to get into the gun. Me, not so much. Coach, though, he's known to take his stuff into the gun. Real quick, I'm going to shout out our sponsor one last time, Coach, and then we're going to get into our closing thoughts. But I want to ask you a little bit about the benefits of using your Wildcat package with your Wing Tee. First off, Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, and Herman, what do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive, subconcussive blows that add up during the week, while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at *Guardian_caps. So, Coach, you're a Wing T guy, and you had this super stud, and you thought, we got to get him the ball. So you went into a Wing T Wildcat package. You've had some fun with it, which you talk about in the video that's coming up after this. What I want to know is, because one thing I struggled with, because once in a while I had gotten a Superman back when I was calling plays. And I always wondered, like, man, am I being too cute when I would back up? For you, what did you see as the benefits of having this Wildcat package? How often would you use it? Why did you stick with it?
Yeah, no, I thought it, number one, anytime, and I think in high school, anytime you can give somebody more to prepare for without really adding a ton to your own package. Obviously, we're adding formations, but and we're adding a shotgun snap, which from a fundamentals, obviously that's something you got to work on with your center and your quarterback daily. But just to give more for teams to prepare for, and to, like you said, such an electric kid. We knew most nights that he was the best kid on the field, and being able to be inventive and being able to, you know, like I said earlier, have fun with it, but kind of take the middleman out of it. You know, that was the big draw for us, being able to have more packages to throw out there and be able to do the same things, but do it different ways.
Well, we had a guy back in 14. We had a kid. We called him Munchie, Montrell Moore. It's always hard to say best running back I ever coached. I mean, he's up there, right? You're like, he was unbelievable. And I never want to track and worry about how many touches does this kid have? How many yards does he have? I don't want to worry about that. But it got to the point where we did start to track, because what we realized was for our own accountability, like, we could not let one quarter of football go by without Munchie touching it a minimum of 6 times. He had to touch it at least 6 times, because if he wasn't, what the heck were we doing? He was so talented. Did you guys run into anything like that with this kid?
Yeah, no, I mean, there was never a lack of touches from him. I mean, we were feeding him from the get-go. And like I said, we've had some other really talented kids, Robleski, O'Hara, Quigley, Grimm. So yeah, but we were able to control his workload like that. And we were able to, these last couple of years, Quigley was there as well, but we were able to really let him loose. And we didn't track it specifically per touches. I heard Mike Leach talk one time about the air raid, and the only question he asks his dudes at halftime is how many touches Y has, how many touches H has, ZX, etc. And that's his big goal is to spread that out to whatever percentage he wants. But yeah, no, we never tracked carries. Obviously, we wanted to control his workload, but man, he's got to touch the ball. He can house it. He can any play, bad play call, good play call, he might house it. So we got to give him as many chances as we can. And try not to overthink it, overcoach it. Heard coach an all-star game one time with Coach Leonard at Sacred Heart Griffin, and he just flat out said, "Find your dude, get your dude the ball." Yeah. So that's what we try to do. We found he's our dude. We're gonna give him the ball, and we're gonna win or die by that.
Hey, old Brad Birchfield out of Bishop Hartley High School in Columbus, Ohio. He's won several state championships there. He has a video on the online clinic about short yardage offense. And he's a great speaker, but I'll just never forget the way he said it too. Like, he's like, listen, when it comes down to it, all we're thinking is best back behind best blockers. Like, the heck with a magic play. Best back behind best blockers. That's what we want with the game on the line. Magic, whatever. Listen, best back, best blockers. Like, he just said it so well. I encourage anybody to check that out. Well, Coach, we're over our time. Guys in the chat, thanks for joining us. We got a video from Coach coming up. If you want to go watch Monday Night Football, fine. This video is going to stay up for about 24 hours. After that, it'll go over to the online clinic. Tomorrow night, we got Coach and his staff on. We're going to talk a few more Wing T specifics. Thank you guys so much for joining us for the 12 Streams of Christmas. Coach Howard, thanks for being here with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Coach. Can't wait to be on there tomorrow night with my guys.
I know. I feel like we're really just getting the conversation going. 30 minutes goes in a hurry.
Yeah, it went by really quick.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy what he's got after this. Guys, reach out anytime with any questions. Again, I got a triple option guy coming to Champaign this weekend to record some videos. Hope you guys get a chance to check those out. Coach Howard, have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Coach. Everybody have a good night.